Where the wind once scoured the earth clean, a new horizon is taking shape. In northern China, an immense ocean of sand known as the Taklamakan Desert stretches for more than 337,000 square kilometers, a realm where dust and silence once swallowed every sign of life. Yet today, a quiet miracle is unfolding across this endless landscape. Green forests are slowly taking root, their advance a stark contrast against the golden dunes. Lands that were once barren, where relentless sandstorms threatened to erase entire villages, are now stirring with renewed vitality. The Chinese call this mission the Green Great Wall, an ecological endeavor of almost unimaginable scale, and one of the largest restoration efforts on the planet. To achieve this, hundreds of millions of trees have been planted, reclaiming millions of hectares from the creeping desert. The transformation begs the question of just how lifeless sand can be coaxed into a thriving ecosystem, and what hidden engineering marvels drive this billion-dollar project forward. It arrives not as an army, but as a fine, suffocating dust. For generations, this invisible enemy has plagued northern China, a relentless tide of sand sweeping down from the Gobi and Taklamakan deserts with each monsoon. By the 1990s, the assault had reached a fever pitch. The skies over Beijing would darken as massive dust storms rolled in, transforming day into an eerie twilight. For more than 80 days in some years, residents ventured out only behind masks, a simple defense against the desert air they were forced to breathe. The source of this affliction, the Taklamakan, was born millions of years ago. It lies in a basin trapped between the Tian Shan Mountains to the north and the Kunlun Mountains to the south. This immense geological cage blocks nearly all moisture from the Indian Ocean and Siberia, creating a vast and arid wasteland. Here the land is starved of water, receiving less than 100 millimeters of rainfall each year, a figure nearly 10 times lower than that of arid California. To visualize this scarcity, imagine a single 500 milliliter bottle of water poured over a square meter of sand each week. It is far too little for almost any plant life to survive. The climate is one of brutal extremes. Summer temperatures can climb above 40 degrees Celsius, while winter plunges the landscape to below 20 degrees Celsius. At any moment, without warning and without mercy, a sandstorm can erupt. This unforgiving environment, worsened by deforestation, overgrazing, and the over-extraction of groundwater, stripped the soil of its life, leaving behind a barren canvas for desertification to paint across northern China. In the heart of an ocean of sand, a strange geometry begins to take shape. It is a pattern woven not from thread, but from millions of strands of straw, the first move in a colossal game against the desert. The foundation of this billion-dollar program was laid not with heavy machinery, but with meticulous planning. Across the vast Taklamakan, Chinese engineers deployed satellites and drones to survey the terrain, analyzing the subtle movements of dunes and the prevailing direction of the wind. This data informed the design of an immense grid system, a sprawling network of straw checkerboards laid diagonally across the sand, each square measuring roughly 20 by 20 feet. From the air, the landscape transforms into a gigantic golden tapestry stretching to the horizon. Yet this simple image conceals a staggering engineering feat, executed under the most brutal conditions. Millions of pounds of straw are hauled hundreds of miles deep into the desert's core, where paved roads vanish and vehicles risk being swallowed by the soft, shifting ground. Upon arrival, teams of workers descend onto the dunes, digging shallow trenches under a relentless sun. They place bundles of straw into precise grid lines, a grueling task where temperatures climb above 49 degrees Celsius and shade is a distant memory. Every movement is a battle against heat and exhaustion, yet thousands of workers persist, knowing each grid is more than a barrier. It is a foundation for life's return. This woven pattern works to stabilize the restless dunes, slowing the wind and creating protected microzones where precious moisture can linger. Once the grid is complete, mechanical augers and planting machines move in, drilling small holes into the center of each square. Here, they prepare the soil for species hardened against drought, like saxaul, desert poplar, and red willow. These seedlings, carefully cultivated in nurseries, are transplanted with precision into each prepared hole. The fragile roots are settled just below the surface, where the straw layer shields them from the scorching sun in abrasive sand. Workers then add a measured amount of water and compact the soil, ensuring the roots make firm contact with the moist layer beneath. As the weeks pass, the straw grid continues its silent work, keeping the surface cooler, reducing evaporation, and preventing erosion around the young plants. Over time, wind, dew, and microorganisms break down the straw, transforming it into an organic blanket rich with nutrients. This natural fertilizer nourishes the developing root systems, helping them reach deeper into the newly stable earth, creating a living network that begins the long process of reclaiming the desert. Where the sun once only took life, it now gives it back. Beyond the simple act of planting trees, a far more ambitious vision for greening the desert involves harnessing its most unforgiving element. In the heart of the Taklamakan, a region bathed in over 2,700 hours of sunlight each year, engineers saw not a threat, but an opportunity. Instead of allowing this intense solar radiation to merely scorch the sand, they transformed it into a vast source of renewable energy. This is where a bold solution emerged: to let the sun itself grow the forest. Along the Tarim Desert Highway, a ribbon of asphalt stretching more than 436 kilometers, a network of 86 solar-powered stations now stands against the horizon. Each station is a constellation of photovoltaic panels, silently converting sunlight into the electricity needed to draw groundwater from depths exceeding 100 meters. This precious water then travels through a hidden network of underground pipelines. From there, it is carefully distributed through drip irrigation, sustaining a corridor of over 200,000 trees that line the highway in a place that sees almost no rain. This has transformed the roadway into the world's first carbon-free desert expressway, a place where sunlight generates power, power pumps water, and water breathes life into the sand. To maximize this synergy, the solar fields are elevated roughly 2 meters above the ground. This design allows air to circulate freely while creating a shaded sanctuary below, where the soil stays cooler and retains more moisture. Underneath this artificial canopy, species like licorice, red willow, and hawthorn have taken root, forming natural green zones beneath a technological sky. Here, solar energy does more than just power pumps. It illuminates a path toward environmental renewal. What was once called the Sea of Death is now becoming one of the planet's largest ecological laboratories, a testament to what happens when technology and perseverance converge. From a force once seen as hostile, humanity has learned to turn sunlight into water and sand into a forest. A forest of mirrors rises from the sand, each one a soldier in a silent army. Their mission is to capture the sun itself. In wide, sweeping arcs, thousands of heliostat mirrors pivot with silent precision. Each one rotates on 2 axes, flawlessly tracking the sun's path across the heavens in a choreographed dance of light and glass. Every mirror directs a brilliant beam of sunlight toward a single focal point, the summit of a central tower. Here, the combined energy superheats a reservoir of molten salt, pushing its temperature beyond 540 degrees Celsius. This immense thermal energy is harnessed to create powerful jets of high-pressure steam. The steam surges through massive turbines, spinning them to life and driving generators that pour electricity into the grid. Yet the true ingenuity lies in its endurance. Any surplus heat is channeled into vast, insulated tanks of molten salt, creating a thermal battery. This stored energy allows the facility to continue producing a steady stream of power long after sunset or when clouds obscure the sky. The cost to build and operate this 50-megawatt solar power tower is estimated at around $130 million. And it is just one part of a grander vision, one that extends beyond stabilizing sand and harnessing the sun. Where once there was only sand, a new kind of oasis is now taking shape. China has begun to transform the very edges of its deserts into destinations for ecotourism, breathing life into the arid frontiers. Along the borders of the Taklamakan and Gobi, a unique landscape emerges. Here, artificial forests, sprawling solar farms, and vast water reservoirs have been woven together, creating parks dedicated to both scientific discovery and tourism. In some areas, community-based travel is flourishing, blending sustainable eco-lodging with the rich cultural traditions of the Uyghur and Mongolian peoples. Travelers can also embark on camel riding tours that venture deep into the desert. These journeys, lasting anywhere from 2 to 5 hours, traverse sweeping dunes and lead to rest stops established in the heart of the sands. Each trip is priced between 40 and 120 US dollars. By weaving together conservation, education, and tangible experience, the Taklamakan stands as more than just a symbol of ecological restoration. It offers powerful evidence that humanity can, in fact, find a way to live in harmony with nature. A line of impossible black slices through an endless sea of sand, a testament not to conquest, but to coexistence. This is the Tarim Desert Highway, one of Western China's most audacious engineering feats, forged to link the oasis cities of Luntai and Minfeng. Its path carves directly through the desert's core for over 300 kilometers, a journey into what was once an impassable wilderness. The monumental effort began in 1993, and in just over 2 years, the road was complete, officially opening on October 4, 1995. Crews battled relentlessly shifting dunes, blinding sandstorms, and a searing heat that climbed past 50 degrees Celsius. The entire project demanded an investment of around 1.75 billion yuan, or roughly 260 million US dollars. To keep the ever-present sand from swallowing the road, engineers devised a complex foundation hidden beneath the asphalt. Layers of gravel, traditional straw mats, and modern geotextiles work in concert to stabilize the ground. Today, this vital artery connects remote solar farms and research stations, while also guiding travelers into the heart of one of Earth's most unreachable landscapes. A sea of death, now breathing life. Where sand once ruled, a green tide is rising. This transformation is the fruit of decades of relentless effort, a success that has surpassed even the most optimistic projections. Today, immense green corridors encircle nearly the entire expanse of the Taklamakan Desert. Official records chart an astonishing change. Over 30 million hectares of barren land have been reclaimed. This has swelled the nation's forest coverage from a mere 10% in 1949 to more than 25% in the present day. In places like Aksu and Kaikeya, landscapes once defined by endless dunes now give way to vast woodlands. Poplar, hawthorn, almond, and walnut trees stretch out in every direction, their canopies reaching for the horizon. The impact on the climate is profound. Scientists estimate that the relentless sandstorms have diminished in frequency by 82% since the 1980s. In Kaikeya, the number of dusty days has plummeted from roughly 100 each year to just 30. These once dead lands now draw in more than 20,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually, creating what many have come to call the desert's green lungs. The sea of death, it seems, has finally learned how to breathe. Life now clings to a soil that was never its own, a fragile green, born not of nature, but of will. The journey has taken us across once barren dunes, now breathing landscapes brought to life by the power of sunlight and human ingenuity. This vast transformation blurs the line between a miracle of the natural world and a sheer triumph of engineering. It stands as a testament to what becomes possible when ambition takes root in the most unforgiving of places.